In Unit 10, Section 3, we are talking about cross products, which is another way to solve proportions, and will probably wind up being the one you use the most. So a cross product is multiplying the numerator of one ratio times the denominator of the other ratio. So we can use cross products to tell whether a ratio is a proportion or not, and if it is a proportion, we can use cross products to solve for a missing value. So the first thing we're going to do is tell whether the ratios form a proportion. So to do that, we're going to take the numerator of one ratio and multiply it by the denominator of the other. Then do the opposite. So take the denominator of the first one times the numerator of the other one. So 6 times 24 is 144. 9 times 16 is also 144. Since these are the same value, then yes, these form a proportion. For the second one, we would do 8, which is the numerator of the first one, times 8, which is the denominator of the second one, equal to 20, which is the denominator of the first one, times 4, which is the numerator of the second one. 8 times 8 is 64. 20 times 4 is 80. These are not equal to each other, so they do not form a proportion. So the next section says using the cross products property. And it basically just says that the cross products of a proportion are equal. So if they tell you that it's a proportion, you know the cross products have to be equal to each other, and we can use that fact to solve for missing values. So for number one, it says, for this section, it says use the cross products property to solve the proportion. So number one is 16 over 25 equals x over 10. So I know that my cross products are going to be equal to each other. So my cross products are 16 times 10 and 25 times x. 16 times 10 is 160. 25 times x is 25x. And then to solve for x, I can divide by 25 on both sides. So I'll get x equals 6.4 when I divide that. Number two, my cross products would be 12 times b and 30 times 2. 12 times b is 12b. 30 times 2 is 60. And to solve for b, I would divide both sides by 12. I'd get b equals 5. For number 3, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. If you look, I have 30, and then I'd be multiplying that by x plus 9. And then on the other side, I'd do 48 times 15. The big thing to notice is that I need to do the distributive property here when I do 30 times x plus 9. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute there, and I'd get 30x plus 270, and that would equal 720. 30x plus 270 equals 720, so I would subtract 270 on both sides, and I'd get 30x equals 450. Divide both sides by 30, and I would get x equals 15. I'm going to let you guys try number 4. If you need any help, just ask your teacher. All right, on the back side, we've got a couple word problems. First one says a commercial jet travels 3,240 miles in 6 hours. Another jet travels 1,100 miles in 2 hours. Are the two rates equivalent? So basically, they're asking, do these form a proportion? So we know that the way that we can check that is to cross multiply and see if our cross products are equal. So I have miles over hours, cross multiply. 3,240 times 2 is 6,480. 6 times 1,100 is 6,600. So those are not equivalent. For number 2, it says a greeting card store sells 38 birthday cards in 2 hours. The store is open for 10 hours. At this rate, how about how many birthday cards will they sell for the day? So we have 38 cards in 2 hours. We want to know how many we can sell in 10 hours. So that's how you would set up the proportion. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and finish that one, cross multiply and then divide. And then you guys can go ahead and do the review problems at the bottom. If you have any questions on that, ask your teacher. That's it for Unit 10, Section 3.